Entire market is seeing a major retracement, and yet you're seeing internet computer rebounding once again. Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. To the ICP holders, let's take a closer look and see what's happening with ICP right now as we are going into Tuesday morning. So looking across the board, you guys can see, we're seeing a sea of red across the board, but internet computer up 13.1% right now over the last 24 hours. It was up more, but due to Bitcoin seeing that pullback below $90,000, that has obviously, retraced ICP's price. But we'll kind of, touch a little bit more on that as I pull out the charts. But if you're looking at the price of internet computer right now, $5.60. But look at it on the Bitcoin side of things. It's up 19% right now on the Bitcoin side of things. So valuation back above 3 billion and the 24-hour trading volume at 800 million. As always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. Obviously, you can see for yourself dominance seeing a major retracement since our last night's update. You can see for yourself quite a sharp pullback. But speaking about a pullback, you can see, Bitcoin has done the exact same thing. Bitcoin's getting closer and closer to our key level that I've been obviously highlighting on this channel, which I might sound like a broken record at this point, but we're getting closer and closer to that. We actually saw Bitcoin dropping below $90,000, retesting $89,000 not too long ago. Seen a little bit of a bounce since then, but again, we're not buying it. I still do believe, we are going to, head more towards the downside, even if the price of Bitcoin were to re-enter back into the 0.50 key zone, potentially even taking above 94K key range. Not excited still. I am still expecting, this wave to be completed. And then, not only is this wave a completion that we want to kind of see, we also want to see, what ends up happening with Bitcoin after. It's going to be a very deciding factor as to, what could end up happening for the overall structure of the market. Yes, altcoins, overall, they haven't really had their time. But as we have discussed on the channel before, if you had a proper balanced portfolio, you still would have done quite well. I can name so many projects that did quite well from the last bear market. Even Internet Computer had a great time. You guys can remember for yourself. This is what people overlook. And if you've watched my updates, even around this time, you guys can go watch those updates. I used to always say, don't focus on these higher time frames. There's no point in doing so. Back then, obviously, when Internet Computer launched at such a high price at that point, because of course, the overall circulation supply was so much lower than, where it is right now. But again, speaking about it from an opportunity standpoint, Internet Computer still did give people a good return. Anyone that was accumulating at its lows, you could see for yourself in September, you could see for yourself, this thing went up 600%. You just cannot forget that. You just cannot forget that. If you round tripped, you did not lock in profits, that's on you, right? You got to lock in profits, because if you're just gonna not lock in profits and leave that on the table, then you're just obviously doing that yourself. No one is going to be taking profits for you. And that's like the difference that I'm seeing this cycle, because there's a lot of OGs that have been in this market for quite some time that still did end up doing quite well for themselves even this cycle. Again, Bitcoin could see an extension going into 2026. We'll see what happens. Like I said, this is why we focus on Bitcoin very closely. We're going to see how Bitcoin performs. I just want to break it down to you guys to make you guys understand easily, because I don't give you guys too much complex analysis. Try to make everyone understand what's going on. You just don't want to see the price of Bitcoin dropping below the 78.6. If able to do that, this upward trend that we're pretty much in, I would say, since you could say 2023. This obviously, the bottom was back on November of 2022. We've been in this upward trend since then, but this upward trend will get invalidated if the price of Bitcoin were to drop below the 78.6, which we don't want to see happening. But with that said, Internet Computer has obviously taken the crypto market once again by storm. At this point, you guys should know the support that we were talking about, and I would say our support did end up playing out. Pretty much, you could see for yourself around this key range. We were talking about $4.77, a thing that we highlighted. But even this move that we did see, I did not even see this coming. And you could see for yourself, we saw Internet Computer, bouncing 30%, and look where it got stopped out. You just can't make this up at this point. You just cannot make it up. $6.20, major key resistance for Internet Computer, and that's exactly where the price kind of got stopped out. And that should tell you that that is a significant resistance to be looking out for. But what ended up happening, my overall thesis on this is the fact that maybe internet computer started once internet computer started retesting some of these lower levels, and due to the market conditions, you started to see more shorts piling up on it, and then you did see the complete opposite happen, market maker stepping in, and you could see what ended up happening with internet computer. And right now, even though the market is pulling down, times like this, a project that has pumped up this much, you could see a lot of manipulation occurring even from the future side of things. So maybe I wouldn't be surprised if this thing still continues to move up and maybe fill this wick in at $7.80. Reason why this would not surprise me is because of this major move that we have seen, and usually you do tend to see bigger swings with these type of moves. Again, if you want to put this into perspective, if we were to fill that wick in, that we obviously set for ourselves on November 17th, that itself is a move of about 40% additional from where we currently are right now. But you cannot ignore the market structure right now. You just cannot. Obviously, if you're in for the long haul, you understand that there is still a potential of the price of internet computer to lose this overall momentum. That's definitely there. If you are okay with that, you're in for the long haul, you don't really care, then obviously patience is your number one key to follow. But if you cannot afford to lose the gains that you have made, especially to the people that accumulated around here, then again, you just cannot ignore the market structure. Of course, internet computer could be that outlier, like what we have seen Zcash do while the broader market pulled down. Zcash started running up. Of course, it could do that, but you also need to understand there's also the complete opposite that could still end up playing out. That internet computer does start reacting to the broader market, and we do see major profit taking happening, and we see the prices go back down to where it were just a few days back. So I'm sorry, just a few hours back. So that's something I want to kind of keep in mind. Obviously, if we're able to break out of $6.20 key resistance, like I said, I think we could fill that weekend, the one that I've just mentioned to you guys about. But I would suggest, people that are, in internet computer that are making profit, just don't neglect or overlook the market conditions right now. Again, what I would suggest is if you want to not sell right now because you don't want to miss a potential run, then maybe have stop losses in place. Very, very important. Of course, that's for you to figure out, understand what numbers make sense to you. But at the end of the day, that's what I would be doing if I were an ICP at this point, especially in this market condition. Yes, people continue to look at how Dash performed, how Telcoin's valuation is much lower than internet computers, and of course how some of these other coins have been mooning, but still something I kind of want you guys to keep in mind. But again, at the same time, let's keep an eye out on $6.20. If it's able to break out of that, then it could show that we might have a little bit legs for internet computer. But people that have internet computer in their portfolio right now, especially over the last 24 hours to 48 hours, that were picking up this retracement that we did see. Some people were able to swing trade on the spot. Again, I'm not a fan at all of leverage trading, but I understand some people spot trade as well, and some people were able to swing this and make a quick 30% over the course of the last 24 hours. So that is something I want you guys to kind of keep in mind. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. I would suggest still do not overlook the market conditions. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Keep an eye out for the $6.20 key resistance. If that is able to break out, we could be looking forward to some of these potential higher time frames to be retested. But with that said, we'll see you later in Crypto ZX and